I guess it's the third conference I've been so far traveling to London, and I mean it's a good chance to meet investors, other peer groups, issuers, and as well as some banking teams based in London as well. So it's quite efficient for 2 days, and tomorrow I have separate investor meetings in London. So it's quite efficient to do a 3-day trip and have so much meetings. Honestly, we price our bonds completely against swap. So that's our approach. So we look at the spread and in a new issue premium only against swaps. And afterwards, we have a reference, and investors have a reference how much we are above bonds, like 30 to 40 basis points right now, depending on maturity. So that's the investor story of being a spread above bonds. But honestly, we price only on swaps. So the development is basically investor driven. We look only on the swap spread, and that's it. The investor demand somehow shifted throughout a negative yield environment and large ECB buying programs. ECB tends to shift away other investors, especially with negative yields. But right now, for sure, in a normal yield environment, we need the normal investors. And usually every bond is sold 50% outside Germany of our state treasury bonds. So we have a quite good broad investor base throughout Europe. But we even increase our efforts right now, starting last year with some more investor roadshows, like in Scandic, I've been in Ireland so far, and have some plans for the second half of the year. So meeting investors is really worthwhile. And one thing to add on that as well is an eye catcher. As an eye catcher works our green bond program, because we see many investors only because we are a sustainable issuer. And we have many discussions on the green issuance, interesting questions on what projects are included. So these works as a door opener also for our normal issuances, and even for some more investor meetings. So that's quite efficient to issue both and to combine the investor works on both sides of the issuance program. We have a long maturity profile of around 11 years of our complete portfolio, but obtained it with derivatives. So we did ultra-long derivatives instead of ultra-long bonds. The honest reason is on ultra-long bonds, you have to pay a very high spread. And on derivatives, you even are able to obtain a negative spread with issuing floater short-dated maturity as an underlying. So that's our strategy. We have an 11-year maturity on the complete portfolio and are fine with that. But nevertheless, we issued this year a 15-year benchmark bond. Usually we have a 3-pillar approach. First pillar is floating rate notes up to 5 years, large benchmarks 5 to 10 years. And the third pillar is the 10 to 20 private placements somehow. But we see more investor demand right now in liquid benchmarks instead of private placements. Even the classical insurance companies or pension funds in Germany wants to hold large benchmarks instead of private placements. So we looked at that demand and found it really worthwhile to issue 1 billion as an eye catcher as well. Get good demand on that, and I could imagine we issue at least once a year a longer benchmark. But as your question hints, for ultra-long benchmarks, we already have an ultra-long portfolio, so that's fine for us for a budget protection.